The other way, there's a lot of talk now about people kicked off air. Now,
What
Jimmy Kimmel never called me the Love Doctor.
time for this?
Ocean Drives films with Eclipse Dine-In Cinemas Bundoran. Now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream, and more. To your seat. Find out more.
Time to join the Love Doctor because it sounds like Love Weekend in the same.
Well,
Oh,
there's always been a bit of romance up here in Eclipse Cinemas Bundoran, but it's particularly romantic. But please,
yeah.
for the sake of our listeners, you've done so well. You've done so well with the ratings and all that sort of stuff because you've never called me the Love Doctor before. And I reckon if you want to keep your ratings and your show, the way there's a lot of talk now about people kicked off air. Now,
What?
Jimmy Kimmel never called me the Love Doctor, but he would have been gone years ago if he did that. Put that image in people's minds.
All right.
So we better be good. But yes, we've two movies to talk about this week, really. We've one new one and our Mr. Monday. Both are very romantic. And
Okay.
I was gonna say 'tis the season. It's not the season at all. It's the season to be going, Jesus, turn on the heat, will you? Love, it's freezing. But maybe a bit of a cuddle will do it for us. And we'll start with, our own Colin Farrell, Margot Robbie, a match made in heaven in a big, bold, beautiful journey. Do you want to play the clip there, Shamie?
Sarah and David, do you want to go on a big, bold, beautiful journey?
Yes.
This is unbelievable.
Mom?
I miss you.
No matter who you are in your life, we just need someone to share it with.
A big, bold, beautiful journey.
Oh, yes, we do. We do indeed. It's a bit of fantasy in here as well. There is, isn't there?
Yeah, very much so. And funny, I was thinking about this because now, full disclosure, I haven't seen this yet. It only opens tomorrow morning and we haven't got it unlocked yet. But, it's funny how different belief things, you can suspend disbelief. Funny, we were talking, about the horror movies where The Conjuring, and when Paddy said, "Oh, what about the bits that are true?" And I got none of it's true. Whereas, whereas something else, like The Long Walk, gave me the chills. Last week, I was saying I'm not a big Downton Abbey fan because I find this suspension of disbelief hard. Whereas I saw this trailer, right, where Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell are two single people who meet at a wedding. First of all, the two of them being single, not a chance, right? But meet at a wedding. They hit it off, but then as they get into their car, the sat nav goes weird and says, basically, do you want to meet up? And we're going to take you on a magical adventure. And there's a door in the middle of nowhere, and they're going to step through and visit times of their past. I have no problem suspending disbelief for this one for some reason because I like that sort of that they're saying, look, obviously this isn't real, but what the emotions, the feelings, etc. It's an excuse to talk about these things. And look, this is only coming out tomorrow, and the reviews have been mixed. But I
Yeah.
have to say, reading the reviews, even the people who didn't like it, when I was reading it, I was going, I'm gonna like this, right? And it actually comes down to really the stars. I like Colin Farrell. I like him in everything. I don't think he's ever been bad in a movie. He's made some bad movies, but he's never been bad in a movie. I think Margot Robbie, as well as being astoundingly beautiful, she is just a brilliant screen presence. She's such a good actress, from stuff like I, Tonya and Babylon, as opposed to not just Barbie and stuff like that. And people think Barbie was throwaway, but that was a really clever role. It was much more nuanced, and I think she's great. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that she's great, but I think there's a warmth to both of them that you would go along on this journey and go, okay, this bit's obviously nonsense, but they're just giving you an excuse to where the people are going to revisit their past, find out the mistakes they made. A bit like something like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, although I think it's much more lighthearted than that. And I'm there. I don't know what you thought of the trailer, Jamie.
Well, I thought, and I watched all the trailers just had me, and I thought there was a great line in the movie, and she said, "Where did you get that accent?"
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just himself,
Yeah,
which is great.
he is just himself, and he's brilliant. And if you've seen the press they're doing, I don't know, maybe they are the two greatest actors in the world, but clearly they got on brilliant. And he used to bring
Really
Tito
did, Joe.
sandwiches every day, and I just love that. I love that. I love her Aussiness and the Irishness. We're like Aussies and Irish have always got on well together, and this is. I think if you are someone who likes an imaginative romance and it's going, just let it wash over you. I'm sure it's one of these that you go, well, that wouldn't happen. That's fine. Nobody says that, as I said, about The Conjuring or horror. here's a big surprise. Iron Man wouldn't happen either. The Avengers wouldn't happen. So there's nothing wrong with doing a bit of romance as well. So I'm hoping it's good. But I think it's one of those that because of the stars, I think I'm going to enjoy it no
Yeah.
matter what. And I hope people do. And also, we often say, Shamey, isn't it great to have a story that's a new story? It's not called A Big Boat Beautiful Journey 2, or it's not based on a book or anything. It's brand new. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking forward to seeing. And I don't know where Colin Farrell's getting all the time to make all this stuff. He's
Well,
working. Isn't he
I think
working?
when he gave up the wildlife, and he's a good boy and he's at bed at 8 o'clock these days, apparently, I think that's where you get the time to do it all,
Is it?
Yeah.
I will never get there. Right, we'll move. So look at bad week.
Yep.
A bad week. Robert Redford passed away, and God, what a great actor, director. Fabulous.
Yeah, and again, kind of speaking of what we're doing, like, when Robert Redford came along, I read this somewhere, and I thought it was a really good point. He came along at a time where really handsome leading actors weren't the thing, actually. Because it was the time of Gene Hackman and Jack Nicholson and so on. Not bad looking men, but they weren't like matinee aisle handsome. He had the 1950s, 1960s looks, So people at first thought, he's just a pretty boy. But he was such a brilliant actor who chose such clever movies. Did a lot of action blockbusters like Butch Cassidy and all that, but did all, The Candidate, 3 Days of the Condor, All the President's Men,
Men,
He was
brilliant
very serious actor himself, brilliant filmmaker, won the Oscar for Ordinary People as well. But also, maybe his best gift to the cinema was the Sundance Film Festival. So many movies we've waxed lyrical over, but the last 12 years would never have got in the world stage except for that festival. He supported the arts, and there was a great meme going around of himself and Paul Newman, of course, because they're in a couple of movies together, and said, look at these two very rich guys. One of them used his money to raise money for sick kids and Barrettstown and all that sort of stuff, put all his money into that. The other one supported the arts, and lots of people got their break who were working class kids, never would have got to get the movies except for them. These are the people to look out about. Sometimes we go on about celebrities and stuff. There was a lot of good, and he was a brilliant actor, and and seemed to be in a time again of, let's face it, there was a lot of sleaze around in those years. Seems like an absolute gentleman as well. Turns out that he's just a giant of cinema, and there's not many left like him, and it's great. But like Margot Robbie, that he's so pretty that people went first maybe underestimating them. No, they're both serious actors,
Brilliant. Right, let's get to Missed It Monday. You just love this film.
I did. I really did. And again, it was kind of a surprise. Now, I'd said that the actress, the Celine song previously made Past Lives, and last time we talked about it, I know people rang in and asked where to see it. Apparently, it's available on renting at the moment. It's not on streaming, but you can rent it from all the usual places. It's a beautiful romantic movie, and this one is much more of a comedy, and it's about a matchmaker. Dakota Johnson is a matchmaker who her own life is a mess. But she, it's that sort of thing. Do you go for love or money, or is there a case of both? And is there such a thing as a perfect guy? And it's more funny, smiling than laugh out loud funny. Oh, there's a couple of great lines in it, and it's set in New York. Everyone's pretty, everyone's beautiful, but there's a real a nostalgia to it. And I think I said at the time I reviewed it, there was a chap who comes in and does TikToks or review movies. And for him, at 23, he was kind of going, I don't know. I thought it was a bit shallow and empty. And I was going, you just haven't had your heart broken enough to go. when you're older, you go, what do I actually want? And once the passion of romance is gone, what do you actually want in a partner? And I think it's really good. And it's playing again on Monday for €5.50. I think it's a really enjoyable film, and again, like the one we were talking about this week, it's a story of its own. It's a brand new story written by the director, and it's good to have those as well as all the sequels. It's great to have original story makers.
We touched on Downton Abbey before we wrap it up. It's still packing them in.
It's packed, and people are loving it. And exactly, like I had a bit of fun with you last week and saying I, didn't care for it and all that, but I did say I love how much people love it. And I'm really happy. So many people, and actually a mix of ages, more of a mix of ages than I thought, coming out, and they just really had a nice time, really pleasant time. And there's nothing quite like it. And I said there was one woman that said she hadn't been in the cinema since 1994, but she was coming out. She was coming out to see this movie, and it's great, and it's pretty looking, and everyone's beautiful, and it's happy. And in tough times, sometimes these are the movies we need. So actually, the three movies we're talking about, all of them are quite uplifting and lovely in a tough world. So why not?
Okay, Collie. That is Collie on movies, and enjoy the week in the cinema. That's an Eclipse Cinemas Bundoran. We'll talk to you back here next Thursday.